The Circleville Letters, the anonymous terror campaign that lasted 17 years. In late 1976, Mary Gillispie, a school bus driver in Circleville, Ohio, received the first of what would become a 17-year series of anonymous letters. The letters accused her of having an affair with the local school superintendent, Gordon Massey. They were explicit, threatening, and personal. They also went to her husband Ron, to other family members, and to local officials. The letters claimed the writer would expose Mary unless she ended the alleged affair. The handwriting was disguised. The postmarks were from Columbus. The writer appeared to have specific knowledge of local events and personal relationships. In August 1977, Mary's husband Ron died when his truck swerved off the road and hit a tree. It was ruled an accident, but the circumstances were suspicious. Ron had been receiving letters himself, including one that suggested he look into Mary's activities. Some investigators later concluded that Ron may have been distracted by reading a letter while driving, making his death indirectly the letter writer's responsibility. Others suspected the accident was not entirely accidental. The death of Ron Gillispie became a central mystery of the case, and the letters continued without pause. The campaign escalated into direct violence attempts. In 1983, Mary was driving along a rural road when she noticed an unusual sign. She stopped to read it. The sign was booby-trapped. It contained a pistol pointed at the reader's face, rigged to fire when the sign was touched. Mary noticed the gun before touching the trigger mechanism and survived. Investigators traced the booby-trap sign and connected it to a man named Paul Freshour, the ex-husband of Mary's sister. Freshour was arrested, tried, and convicted of attempted murder. He was sentenced to 7 to 25 years in prison. After Paul Freshour was imprisoned, the letters should have stopped. They did not. Anonymous letters continued arriving, at least one of them mocking investigators and claiming that the wrong man had been imprisoned. Freshour's access to postal facilities was monitored in prison. He was denied writing privileges at certain points specifically because of the ongoing letters, and yet the letters came. This created the central paradox of the Circleville case. Either Freshour was innocent, and the real writer continued, or Freshour was guilty, and had arranged for someone else to continue the letters on his behalf from outside prison. Paul Freshour maintained his innocence throughout his imprisonment. His handwriting was analyzed by experts who compared it to the letters, with mixed results. Some analyses found similarities, others did not. Freshour claimed he had been framed. He pointed to the continuing letters as proof that the real writer was still free. His defense argued that the evidence connecting him to the booby-trap sign was circumstantial, and that the investigation had focused on him prematurely and incompletely. He was released after serving approximately 10 years and died in 2012, having never admitted to any involvement. The Circleville Letters case has multiple features that resist simple explanation. The writer had detailed knowledge of local relationships and local gossip that suggests someone embedded in the community. The campaign's persistence over 17 years, through the death of Ron Gillispie, the attempted murder of Mary Gillispie, the conviction of Paul Freshour, and his imprisonment, suggests either extraordinary determination or multiple participants. The targeting of Mary Gillispie specifically, above all other potential targets, suggests a personal motive rooted in specific grievance, jealousy, or hatred directed at her personally. The 2022 Netflix documentary Your Favorite Neighbor introduced new analysis and potential suspects beyond Paul Freshour. The documentary examined other individuals in Mary's circle who might have had the knowledge and motive to write the letters. It also raised questions about whether investigators had adequately explored alternative suspects once Freshour became their primary focus. The case attracted significant renewed attention, and Circleville residents who had lived through the letter campaign gave interviews describing the atmosphere of paranoia and suspicion the letters had created in the community over 17 years. The Circleville Letters case is a story about what anonymous cruelty can do to a community and a person's life. The letters destroyed Mary Gillispie's marriage, contributed to her husband's death, forced her to narrowly survive a murder attempt, and surrounded her with suspicion for nearly 2 decades. The person or people responsible used words as weapons more effectively than most violence. The identity of the writer remains unknown. The letters stopped at some point in the early 1990s. No one was ever definitively identified. The damage they caused was permanent, and the silence after them was not resolution, it was just an absence.